Are you fed up with not making progress? Well, you need to watch this video because I'm going to tell you all the things you need to stop doing right now. Now, I wish I had had this list years ago because I became a real expert at keeping myself stuck. I was really busy teaching myself how to become an expert at doing these things. And the thing is, when you're in the thick of life, when you actually sit down and you try and spot what's going wrong, it's so challenging. What you really need is somebody on the outside giving you that feedback, giving you that insight, and actually helping you to reconnect to what's really important. So I didn't even realise I was stuck. I was just super frustrated with everything that was going wrong and where I wasn't making progress in my life. And guess what? That was keeping me even more stuck. So I've carefully curated my own experience to share these things with you that are going to be super useful in getting you to think about how you can get really unstuck today. Now, let me just be clear. Progress means different things to different people. It could be giant leaps for you. It could be small steps. Both those things are amazing. But I know that there are going to be some common bumps in the road that I've experienced, that you're probably experiencing right now. And I want to shortcut some of those things for you. So let's get going and stopping all those things that are getting in your way. Now, the first thing I want to share with you is to stop listening to others if it's preventing you moving forward. Now, I'm not saying don't listen to anyone, don't listen to guidance, advice. What I'm saying is if there's those people who are sharing their opinions, giving you their feedback, probably without you asking for it, passing judgment on what you're doing, and that is helping you to stay stuck instead of empowering you to move forward, you need to think about, what they're saying and whether you choose to take that on board or not. And you may even want to limit your time with those people. Now, these people are sharing these things because they think they're helping you, they want to help you, they care for you. Normally it's friends and family members. And they see life through their own eyes. So they're helping you from a position of like, what would they do? Not what would you do in this situation? Now, I have experienced this before as well. When I was, years ago when I was building up my business in the early days, people would say to me, but Amy, you're working full time and you're doing your business in the evenings and weekends. You're gonna, everything's gonna go wrong, da, da, da. And they had my best interests at heart. But I knew how I was balancing my own energy. I knew what I was capable of and how I knew I needed to put the effort in to get the results. So if it's weakening your resolve, if it's testing you, then find yourself a crowd of people who are there to support and empower you, and start listening to those people that want to lift you up, that want to move you forward. So that's my first tip. My second tip is stop faffing around and tackling the thing. Whatever the thing is that is there that you're not doing, faffing, digressing, being distracted by the next big bright and shiny object. I've been there, I do those things, right? But if you're trying to go multiple different directions, instead of being totally committed to one path, then you're going to be wasting time, energy, and effort. And it would be better using that time, energy, and effort to get results, wouldn't it? To make progress. I hear what it's like. You've got a million ideas. And if you're anything like me, you have ideas that ping just as you're about to go to sleep, and all of those things. When you're in the shower is my other favourite. But, it can be really overwhelming to get started. And you've got a million different ideas going around. You just don't know where to start. So faffing can be stopped by getting super clear on what your best next step is. Now, your best next step doesn't necessarily have to be the right next step. It could just be a next step that you're going to take to get you moving forward. And I love this concept of imperfect action. It doesn't have to be spot on straight away. Just start moving. My tip number 3 is stop allowing overwhelm to take root. So if you are, aligned with what I was just saying about these million ideas and you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, then overwhelm is a real feeling, right? I felt it so many times. And typical overwhelm is where you feel like there is too much to do, that actually there's a whole load of stuff in your head, and because you don't know where to get started, you don't start at all. And the cycle then starts again. So the thing is, when you're feeling in that stage, it can be so hard to get started. So you need to find a way to stop yourself from feeling that overwhelm. You need to stop yourself from focusing on all of the things and just grab one thing from your list and say, right, today, this is what I'm going to focus on, and really give that your attention. Now, here's something else that I also want you to stop. I want you to stop giving your fears room to grow. We all carry fear, okay? It's natural. You might be scared to commit in case what it is you're doing doesn't work. You might feel like you need to learn more to be equipped with, I don't know, skills, knowledge, to be able to feel good enough to take that next step forward. Maybe you've attempted it before and you went back to old ways or you didn't see it through. Fear shows up in so many different ways and people let it stop them. Yep, guess what? I did that too. Are you getting the themes here? These are all things that I've experienced, so I know that they're real and I know how they show up. Fears will always pop up. Even the greatest gurus will have those fears. But it's actually not about ignoring them. It's about acknowledging it and then taking steps forwards anyway. Letting fear stop me was one of the single biggest kind of life mistakes, if you like, that I chose to allow to happen. And I do not want that to happen to you. So acknowledge those fears and then just try and find some ways to work through them, to acknowledge them and to work with them. And stop allowing yourself to make excuses. Quite often we've got those fears, we allow ourselves to make excuses not to get a start. Now, I know that you maybe think I'm being a little bit harsh here, and yeah, maybe I am, but we find it super easy to hide behind excuses. I work with a lot of busy people. I'm a busy person myself, and one of the biggest excuses that I hear is I don't have enough time. In fact, at the time of writing this, I actually did an internet search for find more time. And so many results came up. It was untrue. So Google that yourself and you'll see how many results come up for you. But clearly, a lot of people are on the search for a miracle. Now, I know in some cases this is a genuine reason and it's not an excuse. But the fact is, if you want it bad enough, you will find the time. And even if it's not perfect, it's not a long-term solution, you need to find the time if it's a priority. I mean, I worked for full-time. I commuted for 25 hours a week on top of a full-time job, and I still found the time to train for a marathon. It wasn't easy, and people say to me, how did you do that? And in reality, it's like, I don't know, but it was a priority for me, so I found the time. I had to make a few little changes in some areas of my life, but it was important, so I did it. So if what you're attempting is important, then give it the priority status it deserves and make it happen. And finally, my last tip I want to share with you is to start trusting your intuition. If something feels wrong or out of kilter, you know what? It probably is. And I'm not saying ignore the logic because that is really important. I'm just inviting you to discover how to listen to your heart and soul. So I would love to know which of these ideas resonates with you most and what you're going to do about it. So drop me a reply or ping me a message. I would love, love, love to hear from you.